Hey, this is Carol from CNC Creations, and today I would like to talk about the 8 things you can do now to have a garden in the future and get a jump start on it. Okay, the first thing, number 1, is you need to figure out the light, how much light you have in an area or areas that you want to dig or put your raised garden or whatever. The way I did that was with a little chart. You can list your gardens on the side, and then across the top put the time in 2-hour increments, and then just put how much sun. You can see my back garden gets sun a lot during the day, all from 8 to 8. So, and I've got to do the other ones. So when you get that decided on, then a big thing you can do is to cut down any trees you need to. These trees, we're going to go over here and you can see some I've just cut down. Will provide compost after a couple of years. We just didn't get to chopping this one up, and I think it's a good thing because now I'm going to be able to just kick it over just about. The ants have gotten in it and it's really going down in the dirt now, and that's going to be great. When I plant in here, it's just the best dirt ever. And there we've taken down another one. So this will provide a lot of light here where this was. And then we'll come to the next thing, which is the soil. And the way you tell is to check your soil. This little rapid test soil thing is available at Lowe's, Home Depot, places like that. And you put the little prongs down in some wet soil where you want to make your garden, and it'll let you know what the pH is and the fertility of the soil. Then you can add what you need to ahead of time and let the soil be getting built up. You put compost in and getting it to the right pH. And it comes with a little book which tells what you're going to grow, and it tells what it should be at, the pH should be at for those vegetables that you're going to grow in that spot. It's really cool. Of course, you could go to your extension agent and they will provide you with a kit, or they might just tell you over the phone to bring in some soil from different areas of your garden, and then they'll test it for you and mail you back the results, and then you can adjust your garden from there. You can probably find the pH online of what the things you're going to grow will be. So the next thing to do is ahead of time you can cover it, this is number 3, with a tarp. And here I've covered this with a tarp. It's been down about 6 weeks or so. And this grass I knew was going to be really hard to get rid of. A lot of times I just go ahead and dig everything up. If there's not that many weeds, I can pull the weeds out a little bit. But this was going to be a real booger to try to get through all this really thick grass. So I decided to do it this way, and this is a really good thing to do ahead of putting in your garden. Now, the next thing you can do is to find out what grows in your area. You can do that by asking other people and going to your farmer markets. You can see what the local people are growing. That's a big help, because sometimes there's little micro climates that don't grow certain things. And you'll want to know that. There's no sense in wasting a lot of time planting things that just aren't going to grow. One thing that does grow in our area are figs. You can see it looks like I'm going to get a good bit. I've got 3 big trees here, and I plan to add some more. And that leads us to our number 6, which is fruit trees. Fruit trees take a long time, so you need to plant those ahead of the time. You need to plant those now and allow them time to mature, because you're not going to get any fruit off of them for 5, maybe even 10 years. So now's the time to plant them. And you know, you can plan for what trees you're going to take down to make room for more things while you're planting some fruit trees. And when you plant them as young fruit trees, they can have a little shade, and then you could knock down some of those trees later. So if you plant them now and plan to get rid of some of the trees around them, as long as it doesn't cause them to be broken, you know, you can do that. That's a good way to get a start. Just takes a day to plant one, and then you can go back to work the next day. Okay, now you need a small patch. That would be the next thing that you might want to work on, is just making a small patch, so you can see what kind of pests you're going to have, what kind of weeds you're going to contend with. Is a good thing just to make a small area. If you're getting the planting bug, just dig you up a small area where you figured out the light and put down what things you need to put in it, and then and just give it a try with a small patch. It doesn't have to be anything big. This is a small patch I planted right here where the walkway was. I just thought it might be cute to have some out here. And my tomatoes are doing pretty good. One thing that helps that is companion planting. Those are herbs and other vegetables that will keep bugs off of everything. Marigolds are great for keeping bugs off of almost any vegetable, but especially tomatoes. Mint is another one that's good for some to keep the bugs off. There's my flowers that will bring the cultivators, the bees, in to fertilize tomatoes. And the bees really love, these are some flowers that they really love. Here's another small patch. I kind of learned how to propagate the sage and some of my other herbs. This is oregano and parsley. Parsley, you just cut it off and shake the seeds down when the seeds are dry. And it's good to learn how to propagate. In a small garden, you might want to try some of those things. And this was not hardly any upkeep. Herbs don't really require a lot of compost, but it's good to put compost in, but they don't take a lot. They grow on natural dirt. I did learn one thing about these rosemary plants, is that I needed to be cutting on them more, because they did get some mold in them and I had to cut them. They were a lot prettier, but as you can see right here, there's still some dead right there I need to cut off. But now I've learned, and they'll probably start doing a lot better, even though they were quite old plants. This one's about 10 years old. It didn't get that until it got really big and compact. So now I know about that. After a small patch, you might want to try a slightly bigger patch. This will let you know about the deer in your area or other pests. It'll bring in bigger animals or whatever, and they'll have to learn to deal with that. And it helps you to learn about succession planting and companion planting. So succession planting is when you pull up one, like I pulled up my potatoes, and then I planted green beans in another garden actually than this one. But this kind of helps you to see what's going to be coming into your garden. Also, you can decide whether you want to put down the weed cloth and a lot of other things like that with a slightly bigger garden. Okay, we're till number 9. Number 9 is starting seeds indoors. This is something you might want to try, and you can do this ahead of time of your garden and find out what will grow best inside and what needs to be sown straight into the garden. Some people prefer a lot of straight seed planting in the garden, and some like doing a lot of planting ahead of time in the grow trays. So that would be something you might want to think about what you like. I certainly have learned this year a lot about that because it was the first year that I did the inside planting, and there are a lot of plants that are, it's really beneficial to them to plant inside. They get such a better start at it. You can put a little fertilizer in them, use some fish emulsion on them before you put them in the garden, get them a good start, and then put them out there and hope the bugs don't eat them. But anyway, that's 9 things you can do to start thinking about your garden, which is the fun part of it, and doing some things that don't take a lot of time to get started, and will get you to going on your garden. And happy gardening. Thank you so much, and please like me and subscribe. And I'm Carol, and I'm in Georgia, and I appreciate you being here. Thank you.